Hello, and welcome to Going Places. Today I'm joining Shane Daniel Byrne as he does his show down in Portlaoise. Shane Daniel Byrne is a hilarious Irish stand-up comedian who I've admired for at this point about 6 years, and so this is like really fun for me. I get to hang out with Shane. He has a podcast with Killian Sunderman and Tony Cantwell called Young Hot Guys. So I get to hang out with him and kind of pick his brain about comedy. If you like this series, please subscribe, like, comment. It really does help because I'd love to hang out with absolutely tons of artists and kind of see into their life for a little bit. But yeah, other than that, here we go.
Hi.
Hello.
I turned off music. I could have been a nice arrival with music.
There's a plenty good arrival. All right. Thank you very much.
Oh God, good start.
So Kev Larry needs support.
Yes. I booked him today.
Today?
I developed this real self-harm thing of not organising someone to open for me. I don't know why. And everything's finished now. For the end, the rest of them are booked in May. So it'll never happen to me again. But I did do that. And then I also was ashamed of it. So I told Kevin I've had a cancellation. It's patently untruth.
Would that be more of a compliment? Kev, I always thought of you, but I just never booked you.
Well, I have booked him before.
Yeah.
I've had him a couple of times. It's a funny one though.
You don't want him to know that you're like, I didn't think about it.
Well, I think the last time I had him last time in Wexford, and I think I asked him the day, and he was like, you guys are always asking me. I think me, Killian and Tony from the podcast have all asked him last minute. So he's like, you guys are always doing that. So I was like, felt bad about it.
So Kev is finding his own way down.
Yes. A comedian should drive.
Yeah.
In my opinion. This is fun. I've never been in here.
How do you choose support? Like, do you have people lined up in your head, or is it just whoever asks you, or?
No, I make a list at the start and then I try and fill up loads, because what happens now is that people ask you when you announce your tour.
Yes.
And then people ask you, and then there's some people who mightn't be a good fit for you, or I don't know, might be too soon for them, or might not always do 20 minutes. So you don't want to say no and seem cruel.
Yeah.
So I try and fill up a few, but I think some people think it's like you just give it to anyone, but I think it's someone who is good and decent at it and like knows what they're doing. Because I think it's a job of like welcoming the audience. It's a bit of emceeing, welcoming the audience to the show, setting them up, getting them warmed up, and also, I don't know, am I a good fit? So that can't be someone who's in their first year of comedy.
Yeah. The MC part of it is like, yeah, they must, because they're not just going straight into 20 minutes. Yeah.
But everyone has different approaches. Some touring comedians don't like them doing any crowd work at all.
Because it gives off a false sense of what's about to...
Because they like doing crowd work themselves.
Right.
So they don't want any of the chat wasted. So if there's somebody sitting in the front row who's a brain surgeon, they want to talk to the brain surgeon. So some people have that. Some people will ask you your...
Can I just move this?
Yeah.
And is it if I put on your seatbelt? Would that be
I was
okay?
wondering that as well, actually.
Would that be all right? I might just...
Some people will ask the support what they plan to do, and then if there's some overlap, they'll cut it out. They'll say, "Can you cut that out?"
Okay.
And when I open for someone else, I don't mind that. I don't ask my support asks that. But I did for Aisling B the other day, and I was opening for her, and I know that some of the themes of the show are about Catholicism, and I had some bits I was going to do that are like just little old gold bits about slagging the church, which is so easy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, she's like, well, what are they? And I was like, it's this, this, and this. And then I was like, you know what? As I'm saying it, let's leave it. So
Yeah. Where were you opening for her? Was it Vicar Street?
I did 2 Vicars and a Wexford Opera House.
Jesus, nice. Fucking hell, fair play.
Wexford Opera House. It was nice to do it. It's a big giant room, and there's like balconies and boxes, and it was nice to do it, but I wouldn't like to do my whole show there in a big, I don't know, you're not really with the audience or something.
All right, it's almost too...
So you're on a stage far away from them, it feels like.
Yeah.
And it's enormous. The stage is absolutely enormous, but you're not, so it's like just weird.
So what you're on, but like they might not fit the vibe. What kind of vibe suits your sort of opening act?
Oh, it's someone. Anyone who is opening for me, I think is someone I think is good, and I like spending time with them.
Yeah.
Because, especially if you're doing one that's a sleepover, which are very few. Usually I drive back, but if I'm staying over and I have to have a pint with somebody, I'm like, I need them to be a person who might have gossip. I need them to be because that's so much fun.
Yeah.
So I need a bit of that.
They have to be a good hang.
Yeah. Oh, I have to go to that accountant over there. That's where the accountant lives, and I need to get onto him. We are at the famous Walkinstown roundabout. I think I'm in the wrong lane.
How many? Six lanes off this thing?
That sun is a nuisance for driving, but I bet we look gorgeous.
So where?
What was I saying? There was something else.
Oh, your opening act. You're saying someone that you like a good hang. You were saying someone you have a pint with.
Yeah. I think someone you can hang around with and you're pally with, I think is kind of the main thing.
Pardon
if
me.
I like their comedy and I'm pally with them, probably the audience will like them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They usually, no one's ever had a problem. I've never had anybody like drop clangers. I did hear of somebody in another city. They had someone opening for them and didn't go well, and he left the stage after 9 minutes.
Holy shit!
And he was to do 25.
What?
And that may seem like if you're doing a gig in a club where there's like 5 people on, and you're having a shocker and you go under your time. I've done that once where I was to do 15 minutes and I did 7 because I hated it so much I left. I wouldn't do that anymore, but I did the time. But at a show like this where they've bought tickets to see one particular thing, one particular person, then they're all getting in there, ushered in, told to sit down. Folks, 5 minutes, let's go. Club bar is closing, and then someone's there for 9 minutes, and then they just stand up again and go get another drink. It's like
It disrupts the vibe.
Yeah, that can really throw the vibe down.
Yeah.
Or throw the fluidity of the evening or something.
God almighty. This was like in Ireland, somewhere in Ireland.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, say no more. Say no more.
I actually can't remember who the act even was. I heard it secondhand, but from a very reliable source.
So how many times you go overnights then?
I stayed in Limerick last night, and I could drive back from Limerick. It's like 2 hours, but I hate the long driving, where it's just one motorway. You leave Limerick City and it's like to Dublin, and it's like in 186 kilometers, turn right, and you're like, oh, here.
Yeah.
So I hate that. So I tend to then stop out of boredom, and then it takes me forever. So I might stop twice on the way from Limerick, which should be a 2 hours and 10 minutes drive. I'll do it in 4. I hate it.
I can do it in 4. For 2 hours. So where'd you stay in Limerick then, or where'd you stay?
I stayed in a hotel. Yeah, I'll stay in Limerick. I'll stay in Cork usually, but I enjoy having a pint in Cork with the comics down there and stuff, so that's not that big. But you know, I haven't been drinking. I was saying this. I was talking to Mike Rice, name drop, and he said that he hasn't been drinking all year. And I was like, I haven't really been drinking either, and I'm devastated.
You're like, let's meet for a pint and celebrate.
No, but I'm devastated that I'm really enjoying not drinking. I'm like, oh God, what part of my life is this?
Yeah.
But it is totally fine. I haven't been missing it at all. Sometimes after the show, and the first tour I did, I'd be like dying to have a drink, and I was like, it feels like, what's the point if you can't even celebrate it or whatever? Whereas then, once you get used to it, it just becomes normal. You're like, this is what I do now. I go around, I drive to Portlaoise.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm not a big drink. I haven't been a big drinker in a while. So I know the feeling. But it's weird. I think, like, even when you talk about like having a pint with comedians, the one good thing or the very positive thing about having a drink is it's very, very social, which means you'll automatically be socializing. When you don't drink, it always feels like there's an element of socializing you're missing out on, I guess.
Yeah. I like social. Oh shit! Am I supposed to go
over there, far right?
Oh, wow, you're a real grown-up. You knew that.
I do comedy workshops in school, so I'm always driving everywhere. So, I know. Yeah,
that was big dad energy you gave there.
Jeez, that sun.
It's really quite intense.
So, you find you're saving a lot of money not boozing?
I don't think so. I've mainly been drinking at gigs. Like, I mean, I'm not really a massive drinker. 1 or 2 pints, like, but there was a while I was having a drink. I never had a drink before a gig for years, and then I started having a pint, 1 pint, and then maybe another pint to bring up on stage with you, and then that was like, then one day I had to drive somewhere, and I was like, I couldn't have the drink, and I missed it, and I was like, oh, yuck. And I was like, God, I need to get my head out of my arse and not need a drink. Like, don't be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But some people swear by it. They love having a drink. They have a drink for every show. Panty Bliss, she has a gin and tonic every show.
So how long? So the show kicks off. What did you say? 8:15. Is that what you know? 8:45.
8:45, which is unusual.
And Kev will do 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So you will be on stage by about 9:20 almost.
I'm thinking of going on a couple of minutes before Kev.
Introducing him and also kind of getting him ready.
I think so. I did it. Last night was the same night as when Ireland lost the football.
That's right. Yeah.
And I was wondering about, it was such a big event, and I was wondering, the sales were good and everything, and I was like, what about no shows? Are people not going to bother coming to the show? Because I think that would be fair enough.
Because of the night that was in it.
Yeah, so I kind of had this idea that maybe there'd be like massive gaps in the audience, and then it turns out there wasn't. So I wanted to go out first last night just to kind of presence that or something.
So the overlap of your audience and Irish football fans.
Well, there was plenty of watching it in the audience.
Oh yeah, okay.
Which I thought was fun, and then anybody who was up on the balcony, they were behind the sound desk is up there, and the sound guy had it on the laptop, so they had a big screen, but people were watching it on their phones.
No way.
And I just thought, like, that was fun.
Yeah.
Actually, it was interesting because the energy of the excitement before the match and all the nerves and trepidation
brought into the show.
They all swallowed, the audience. That stuff's contagious.
Yeah.
So the audience all swallowed that up on their way in, even though some of them have no interest in the football whatsoever or didn't even know it was going to be on.
Yeah.
Everyone just kind of got swept up in it, and it was a real buzz. So it was it was a memorable show actually, and I took a picture with the audience at the end from the stage, which I never normally do because I do think that's a bit self-indulgent.
To take a photo with the audience?
Like take
with
it
you
from stage, like a selfie of getting the audience in. I don't normally do that. I don't know. I don't know why. I do it in Vicar Street, but that's it. But a photographer does it.
Yeah.
But I just felt like it was a memorable gig because it was like a memorable show, I should say, because just all the stuff that was going on. You could hear, we were in the green room beforehand, and you could hear them cheering downstairs, and you're like, in the pub, like there was a pub attached to the venue, you could hear them all being really excited, and I was like, nothing I do will be as good as this night for them. I was like, that was just a funny clash. But yeah, I'm trying to go out. I'd like to get to the point where I go out by myself and I open for myself and do a bit of chat or whatever, but I don't.
It's a bit like what Dara O'Brien does, right? The first half of the show is kind of crowd work, and then the second half is the show itself.
Yeah, because he's a famous crowd work guy, so that's kind of, people want to expect that. So he nearly has to do that just to get that out of the way, because people are going to be sitting there. Some
are coming for that alone.
Yeah. So, and then
he's like, okay,
you have to clear that out, because if people are sitting there going, do one of your chats, whatever. I saw, Limmy.
Oh yeah.
I saw Limmy years ago, and it was not a comedy show. It was like his book show, and about his book tour, and he had the successful TV show, and he did lots of characters on that. So he, at the start of the book tour thing, he did a reading basically.
But before he did.
Yeah, he sat down and we all were in, and he was like, okay, so I was on the telly and da-da-da. He's like, what do you want me to do? And I'll do them. And people were like, Falcon Hoof. And he's like, and he would do them on. They were like, Jackie. And he's like, oh, chocolate chicks. So he did all the little bits, and then he's like, okay, now we'll sit down and read the book. And I'm pretty sure, I can't remember, that part is more memorable, but I think he just read from the book. I know as well, there was a long enough show that there was an interval, because why is that happening? He said, we're going to take a break and you can all go for a pish. And I've been saying pish ever since.
Pish. Fair play to him. He knows his audience. It's like, let me give you what you may have come for, and then.
But that is what lots of a show is, I think.
Yeah.
Predicting what they want and how they feel, and structuring what you do on stage based on that. That is a lot of what the job is.
Yeah. How long have you been?
A comedian?
No, I was gonna. How long have you been making a living from comedy?
About 3 years.
3 years.
3 years full time at the comedy. 2.5, I suppose. I worked as long as I could up until I had to go to Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and you can't just have a month off. So I was like, I'll quit then. And I think I'm a big believer, you know, when people say, I worked so hard to get where I am. And I think sometimes that work is another job. I think sometimes that's the work that you have to do to get where you are. So I have some people think there would be an attitude of like full-time comedian, part-time comedian. I don't share that, and I don't,
What do you mean?
There's a snobbery. People assume there might be a snobbery. Or I find sometimes other comedians will say to me, they're like, look, I'm not a full-time, not the same, you know. And I don't feel that way. So I don't think of it that way, as in like when they're like, when you're talking about comedy and jokes, yeah, the business side of things, maybe I'd know more about that than them, but I think in general, I don't.
We're all equal.
I would hate if somebody had a snobbery around that. People are embarrassed of their job sometimes, their day job, and I just think that's a waste of your energy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I would think.
You mean like fellow comedians are all?
Yeah, like I mean, I'd be generous about that, but then I also hate people who go on like they're comedians when they're not really. You know, sometimes people, they're kind of like, sure, and I'm like, well, you're not doing it. You're not actually trying. That's a separate topic. I don't know. It's only half thought. I was going to start a bitching conversation.
No, go on. Yeah, sure.
No, I won't.
It's the most popular topic amongst comedians. Or at least the majority, we're all bitter.
There actually is so little gossip to be had, though. That is what's annoying, and it's never fun. It's never like somebody. There's no like, who's having a sneaky dalliance together. It's never that much. Maybe there's. I'm not in those circles, but in comedy. But like, I never. The gossip isn't that gossipy. I wish there was more.
Yeah, but I think. I would say, or at least from my own perspective, like I have a girlfriend who's not in comedy, but she's always like, did you ever like get with any comedians or actors or anything like that? And I would be like, no, mainly because I always feel like anyone doing comedy is slightly, or doing artistry in any kind, is slightly deranged a little.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think it's good to be mixing those two worlds.
Yeah.
I always just feel like I've just seen it blow up in so many people's faces. I'm like, I think, like, I'm genuinely, I'm like, I don't have any interest. I don't want to do that.
I was never single and a comedian.
You were never single and a comedian?
No, so I don't know. I mean, who would? There's barely any gay comedians, so it would be a really limited pool for me to date in the comedy.
Well, you could come to that singles comedy night.
Oh yeah.
And John set up. It'd be a great place to come and meet people.
I don't know. I think sometimes comedy for straight men, comedy, or for women, straight women, the comedian can be an aphrodisiac sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think it
only after they've seen them perform. As soon as I get to know them in the real world, I think it's a turn off.
But they'll sleep with them one time and then go, oh God, gross. Yeah, what have I done? I slept with a comedian.
Yeah.
But I think for gays, I don't think, for gay men anyway, they're not interested. They're like, that's not interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's like, everyone's a star. Like, the rest of us are all. So I don't think they care. And like, gays will often say, I did a queer cabaret night one time, and it was like mostly LGBT people in the audience, and I got several people saying, do you know what, they enjoyed my set, that they're like, and I normally now I hate comedy. You're like, okay, thank you. Like, I hate stand-up, I never got near it. You're like, cool, I do it several times a week, thank you.
Yeah.
we talking about being comedians? Is that what this topic is about? I didn't watch your thing because I don't know.
No. The thing is, there's no wrong answer on the thing.
Okay.
The thing is very much like, so what you gotta do, you don't even know this. Let me pitch, but like, so if the entire time we're hanging out is essentially gonna be in the show, so it'll be minimally edited. So based on what I'm saying as well, if there's some top of a conversation you don't want in there, I'm like, we should just drift away from that.
Minimally edited, so you're gonna have like a 3-hour.
So yeah,
IMAX film.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Genuinely, look, I filmed with Killian for one of the first ever episodes, and to be honest, I was going to initially edit it down to like a 15-minute thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I have never really seen a behind the scenes that actually shows you behind the scenes. It's usually like the almost like a glamorous behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And then when I started editing it, I was like, as soon as I started cutting it, I was like, oh, I've seen this before. And I was like, the version that I just let it run, I was like, I know that over the course of the episode, there's like little peaks and troughs over it. But I was like, I found it way more interesting.
But is that just because you're kind of an insider?
Yeah, but ultimately I have to make this for me first. And also I feel like no one else is doing this version of something where it's like a podcast, but on the day that you're doing a thing.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So it's not a podcast in a sterile environment. It's a podcast where like, hey, look, there's the fucking world out there.
Yes.
Like we're going to be impacted by it somehow. Someone does some move and they're like, oh, fucking dickhead, or whatever it is. And also like the particular energy that we both have today. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could film with you tomorrow, it'd be a totally different episode, you know?
Yeah, it would be.
So
today I feel low energy today because I'm so grateful and delighted to be touring, and I've only started to enjoy the show really. I'm nearly at the end, but I've only started to really enjoy it and like it. I'm like, oh no, I like this now.
Right when it's what's
But I think that might be just kind of my, or I don't know whether it is or not. I'm like, maybe that's just the process for me, but actually I'd like to have that not be the process. So I'll try and fix the show earlier or something, but because I remember thinking of last year, I felt the same. I was like, oh, this one isn't as good as the previous year. It's not good. And then I was like, when I started this tour 3, I was thinking of tour 2, and I was like, there's good stuff there. It's good stuff, even though I was hating on tour 2 when I was in it. So I think I need to start to shake that off. But I'm grateful to have it all that stuff, but I'm also wrecked right now. Your body knows. I don't have any for this, no tour shows for the next month. And your body just knows when that's happening.
At the end.
Yeah. Your body always knows that. It's like when you've been very, very busy and then you start to get sick because you're like, your body's like, come on now, have a rest. So you start to get sick. So my body knows. So I'm like, it's like tomorrow we get to relax for ages.
I feel like I have the similar vibe. My body, me and my partner moved to Barcelona at the end of December, and but when I'm back in Ireland, I'm doing usually like 4 weeks of workshops or something.
Yeah.
And I hold it together for those 4 weeks, but then right after the last day of workshops or whatever, and I'm like, cool. You're like, yeah. It's like, okay. It's like I didn't feel it, and then suddenly I'm like, my body's like.
Yeah, I think it's the same for anything. People who work in corporate world or administrative stuff, like they have a structured life that they say, I'm taking a week off when we finish such a project.
Yeah.
Whereas I think when you're on your own freelancing around the place, you don't really have such luxury.
And so are you going straight into something else with this tour ends?
Another one. I'm going to, this is now about to be April, and I have a new show starting in August for the Edinburgh Fringe.
And
I have a good chunk
of the show.
Yeah, you get more. The first year, so terrifying, the idea of putting an hour-long show together. And then last year, or then the second year, you're like, okay, not so bad. And you edit it in Edinburgh, live, and you kind of change things around. Last year I went over really unprepared, and it was a mental thing to do, and I regret it, and it was, I do and I don't. It was hard. It wasn't like, did less fun. The show wasn't as fun. I don't think I had as much word of mouth business. I don't know, I just found it harder. Whereas this year I'm like, okay, I've done 3 now. So I'm like, okay, so I have that, and I'm like, I've got about 35 minutes now. This is March. So I need another, this is the first week of Edinburgh, I need to have, the shows are an hour. So I was like, I need to have 50 minutes for the first week. So I can do 50 minutes in the previews, and I'll extend bits and find new bits as you're doing it.
Yeah.
And I was like, by the end of that first week, I'll be at 55. And then by the end of Edinburgh, I'll have taken stuff out and added new stuff in, and then I'll So then, to make it balance out for the time, because you can't run over your time. Then when I do it back in Dublin, I should be up to about 65, which will extend to about 70 or 72. I'm like mathematical about it now. But I feel confident. I'm like 35. I only need 15 more minutes.
Yeah.
And that's it. It could all go tits up, and that stuff may never work.
Sure, I've actually a bunch of questions about that. One, how do you write? And then two, are you going straight from Edinburgh Fringe to Dublin Fringe? And then three, are you going to be doing 70 minutes on stage tonight?
Yes. Well, yeah, I did. I last night I went. It all changes. I took stuff out of the top of the show, and I did it in the preamble last night before the support act, and but then I still did more. Yeah, I do about 70. I was doing 80 on the first year, and actually that's too long.
People are like ready to be done by about 65.
People
70.
need to piss.
Yeah.
And that's what it boils down to. People have to piss. So it's kind of like people are, I don't know. And also an hour is fine. I think 65, 70. I think an hour is short actually. I think when you go to stuff, if you went to a play and it was 1 hour, you'd be like, okay, that was quick.
Yeah.
Whereas 70 minutes feels like that's not too long.
Just about right.
Yeah. I don't know why.
An hour and 40 minutes, you're like,
yeah, don't give me all that and like intervals and all the rest. But yeah, if you're doing 80 minutes,
then you have the opening.
Then you may as well do 90 and you may as well do two halves. That's what you should do at that point.
So then, how do you write? If you don't mind me asking, so what's your process for writing? Like, are you like everyone? What I'm learning, I mean, of course, everyone is different. So where do you fall on the spectrum?
Do you know what I'm really into? Everyone being different. I keep thinking of this lately. Everyone essentially starts wanting to do the same thing. The basic thing of I want to get up there. Are you cold? Is this making you cold? You don't have to do anything, but if you're cold, let me know and I'll turn on that thing because it's doing this thing where even if you turn it off, there's a low level of whatever temperature you left on.
Yeah. No, I'm okay only because if we turn that on, the air
no, I don't
might,
want to. But I'm interested. Everyone starts in this thing of like I want to get up there and I want to be funny and maybe things like say my opinions. And they wanted to make people laugh and have it be good. And then it just, as you go through, everyone is different. We all have different ways of doing it. And I just think that's nuts, that how it just develops. It's like,
how everyone has a very unique way of...
It's like the branches in a tree. Everyone starts the same trunk and then just weaves off. Just love that. I write, I keep little notes as I'm going around my life. Little observations about things. And
what do you keep the notes in? Like on the phone?
I have a phone now, and I have an app on my phone. For years, I had no phone.
Have you heard about these phones?
I'm a real bohemian. No, I use a phone app now. There's a good one that they look like little sticky notes, and it's really clean, and just goes in and out. And then I do, if I'm doing me and the boys from the podcast, we do a monthly new material. So then when I'm doing that in the days before...
A monthly new material night?
Yeah.
Where do you do that?
We do it in the Workman's, and it generally sells to the subscribers of the podcast. They're like bonus layer, Patreon-ish. It's not Patreon, but it's like Patreon.
Yeah.
Generally they buy all the tickets, so there's only a few will sell to the wider public. And we do that. Sometimes we have a guest. We try and do as celeb-y guest as we can.
Yeah.
But we've run out of celebrity friends, so
who have you had on?
At Christmas we had Aisling B. That was cool.
Nice.
Because it was like, and we didn't tell them. Sometimes we leak out who it is, and then we didn't tell them, so it was kind of fun.
They must have gone wild, did they?
Yeah, no, it was really fun, and it was actually, I don't know, Christmas sometimes can be a good or a bad gig, can't it? But actually it was good, and I told the audience that a certain celebrity came up, and Irish celebrity came up in conversation in our chat, and then I told the audience, I was like, you know him, one time I shifted him. They were all like, ah! So it was one of those nights where just loads of things were really fun all in one go. But if I'm doing that night, I'll get that, and then I'll try and go, find the jokes. And that's a lovely way of doing it, but also dangerous because those people already are fans of the podcast, they're familiar with me. So they're going to be laughing just because they're happy to be at that event.
Right.
So it's not a real...
Right.
If I went to the open mic with that, I don't think I'd get as much love.
Right, okay.
So I think... I had this plan this year to do the open mics. I got a full list, updated list of who's running what, where is it on. So I haven't done it at all. push yourself out of your normal comfort zone, the open mics is a scarier world than what I'm used to. So that'd be good to go a bit more. As people used to call them, people sometimes call them doing the shit gigs. Not that all open mics are shit gigs, but shit gigs.
So you'd take notes and you'd write up a little bit on them before you go on stage, or you take the note and almost just straight from the headline of the note you go on stage, or
yeah. So it's sometimes I'll go further. Sometimes I'll have a little story made out of it. I'll have a little routine out and try and get it, and then inevitably I do find new jokes when I'm on the stage.
Yeah.
So I tend, if I'm doing new material, I always go in with the pen as well because I forget things. And then even there'll always be more jokes. Your stuff, you can be doing stuff for years, and then one day on stage you'll just say something else attached to it, a new little extra layer, a little tag at the end, or something else. There's always room for more jokes, but it's just, I don't know. I wish I could get them all at once, but I think that's Ireland is small, Dublin is small, and you can't. The likes of Edinburgh Fringe, loads of the acts in the UK, they can do a preview and work in progress 30 times before they go to Edinburgh, and we just wouldn't have those numbers because people would not come.
And so you haven't recorded, because this is show 2 you're on, right?
Show 3.
Show 3. You haven't recorded and put out the hours of show 1.
No.
No. And can I ask what's the thinking or the?
Because if I'm doing calling it a special, if I'm doing that, I'd like to spend money on it and have it nice. But then I would why? I don't. It's not like I'm going to be pitching them to Netflix. I just don't think or anywhere, to be honest. I will not pitch them anywhere, but then you still would want, if I'm making that, I'd still want to look good and look nice, so you have to pay money for that, and I'm well, do I need it? I have obviously good quality recordings of them, but they wouldn't be studio quality.
Yeah, they wouldn't have you mean not multiple 5 or 6 cameras,
3 cams.
Yeah.
As many as you have.
You have everything you need. How long is the podcast going now?
Since November 23. So I was not long out of the job, and then that idea came up.
What was the job? What was
the previous job? I had a few different jobs now, but the last one I was doing was I worked in universities. So I did worked in 2 universities in different roles, generally around admissions, applications, that kind of thing. And the last one I worked in was NCAD, the National College of Art and Design. And I was doing that, contenting myself of this is my day job. Then I was getting promoted and stuff. I was like, what am I doing? What's happening? And I ran NCAD's open day. I was the man in charge of the open day. And I don't have a degree, I don't have these things, but I was running this big event that thousands of people will attend over the course of one day. I was like, what am I doing? How is this? I kind of have always had that thing in my head that I was like, I can do anything that I could do that. I kind of just always have been one of those people, and we used to, when I was in the youth theatre, we ran things, we did we stuck on award shows, we did things, we made stuff, created our own enjoyment from it, and I think that's going to carry it over. I just always feel I could do that. So I wasn't intimidated by those jobs, and I'm a big believer in everything contributes to everything. You're right now the sum of all the previous parts and moments of your life. So you do take things from them, whether that's stuff for material, whether that's just a way of dealing with people. I worked in DIT, and there's thousands of applications to DIT, and you're in the admissions office, and the CAO happens, and you get 1 million phone calls that day. You put down the phone, and it still rings. It just keeps going. And you deal with people who are angry, people who are upset, people who are angry and upset on behalf of their children, people who are confused, grannies ringing up on behalf of their grandsons trying to help. And I think those are crowd management skills.
Yeah.
They lend themselves to comedy. They're communication skills. They're keeping you cool. They're being calm under pressure. These are all useful for comedy as well. So I'm a big believer in that kind of thing.
God, interesting. You must be good at diffusing situations with tension, like even outside of comedy?
I used to love start to want them to be angry on the phone. I used to kind of want there was one day this guy, he wanted something from the admissions office. He was emailing the wrong place. He should have emailed, he wanted a copy of his degree or something like that. And I was like, hi, such and such, and he'd CC'd the person he was being employed by or whatever, and I just emailed him and I said, hello, thanks for your email. I was like, this isn't actually for us. I would suggest you contact this person or this person. And unfortunately, it's not us. And he was really annoyed by this, and because he wasn't getting what he wanted immediately, and he was embarrassed in front of this person he got a job from. And he picked up the phone from New York, and he was like, what a ridiculous snivelling email to have sent. And I was like, I can't get you that. I don't have access to it. I was like, it's departmentalized so that everyone can be efficient in their jobs. I was like, that's why I can't access that. And he was shouting, he was like, oh, this is public service. I was like, yeah, it's public service. He's like, and I knew he was working in New York, and so he was like, this is ridiculous, and I pay your wages. And I was like, well, you don't pay my wages because you live in New York. And I just couldn't resist. I love his response to that. He was like, this is fucking, and then he said fucking. So my policy was, if they swear, you can hang up immediately, even if it is public service.
Would you even say anything, or you just
just hang up? Like, and they won't always ring back. So you're like, they'll know I can't curse, so they'll have to cool off and call you back. But he would have saved himself time if he just went off and emailed the right person.
Yeah.
And my favourite one ever, I had an internal one where I was the secretary of this committee, and so all I would do was take the minutes and send out the time. And the chairperson told me the wrong time or wrong room, and I sent out this email, and that was fine, telling them all to go to this room this time. And then like an hour before, he goes, I told you the wrong place. Email them all now. Email them all saying it's change of venue. Sorry for the inconvenience, and or normal stuff you do in offices. And anyone who I tried to ring around as well. I got as many of them I could if they had landline phones. And then this guy then was furious. He didn't get the email and started telling me how, no, I'm at the bottom rung. I'm an entry-level administrative person. And he started telling me about, I can't even tell you this. He started telling me about how, oh, well, indeed you are. You must be apologetic, Shane. He's like, we have a very busy role. Anyone who's senior academic staff, such as myself, lorded this over me, professor, whatever he was called. And he was like, we have a very busy schedule, and this causes great inconvenience, running from venue to venue. And so he was just screaming and shouting at me, and I was like, I didn't even do it. So I was like, sent him back an email, and I was like, hi there. I was like, the mistake, which was not my own, was only realised the last moment. We have tried to rectify the situation. As I said, we will share the minutes, and nobody will. And then I said, as such, I can offer you no further redress. And left him with that. And then he came back, then he realised he was being mean, and he came back and he was like, oh, I'm obviously shooting the messenger here. And then they went and tried to clean it up.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, whoever made the mistake, you tell them I have rotten fruit ready to be pelted at them or something like this. And one of the schools in DIT was the culinary arts, and I told him, I was like, dear such and such, I was like, I would suggest that your rotten tomatoes are better suited for the labs and kitchens of DIT called Brewer Street. Kind regards, the messenger. And I just felt great about it. I was like, I always think everyone should be, don't let people do that stuff to you. Don't let them make you small. And especially, that's safe and cozy in the public service. So you're not going to get fired for it. You know what I mean? You might get in trouble in some way. I guess in the private sector, maybe they'll be like, who does this fucker think he is? He's fired. Maybe. But I just was like, I didn't care. I just was like, I'm fighting him back. Don't talk to me like that.
I used to work for Avis Rent-A-Car. No, I feel like I wouldn't. So people have spoken to me like that in the past, and I don't know. I don't have the. I feel like I don't have the wherewithal in the moment to be like, you're not allowed to speak to me like that. But what I will do, which is way more underhanded, is I'm like, I'll get them back. I'm just like in my head, I'm like, I have your name in my head, and until I make you feel like shit,
you'll get your comeuppance.
You'll get your comeuppance something. But I remember I used to work in Avis Rent-A-Car, and there was this. So mostly Avis, this is like a summer job. It was actually a lovely job. They have an online system, but there's also, you can ring and book a car, but it's kind of an outdated system. So it's a very old software because it covers every location on alert. So it's not like fucking the way a user interface you'd be aware of. It's like a black screen where you have to type in shit.
Yeah.
Remember this lady rang, and she always used to
MS-DOS.
yeah, that kind of vibe.
You know, when I was in the colleges, the CAO was very similar to that.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a very, because it's covering so much data.
And it's much privater.
Yeah.
Actually, harder to hack.
This lady, she represented a business who would book cars consistently, right? But when she would ring and you'd answer the phone, and before you could say, hey, hello, welcome to Avis, or whatever, she's like, Dublin to Cork in the 7, she's just going straight into the information. And like the first time she did it, I was like, oh, sorry, could you just, actually, it'll be easier if I ask you the questions, because I have to go through the form, and it's not always as you would give me the information. It's like, it's easier to take the location first, then the start date, then the end location. When I said that to her, she's like, come on, would you get with it? This is your job. And I was just like,
think you are?
I was like, you threw everything at me immediately, and you didn't. So I was like, all right, fine. So then the next time she'd ring, I'd write everything else. I wouldn't even be on the computer screen. I was like, I'm gonna have my fucking pen and paper ready. So when she rang, I just wrote it all down. She was like, how is that? She goes, do you have it? I was like, yes, I do. Just give me a second. I was like, and then, well, you have to give them back this code, and it's like 6 letters followed by 12 digits. I was like, are you ready for the code? Like this like, I was like, are you ready for the code? She goes, yeah. I was like, okay. And I said this code as quick as humanly possible. I was like, okay, and I remember there was a pause, and she started laughing. She's like, okay.
Oh, she knew?
Yeah, she goes, okay. And I was like, here's the code again. The next time she rang, she's like, how do you want to do this? Do you want to take the lead? I was like, yes, I will. So, yeah.
I just think I'm into a bit of work, like the way work should be approached. Like, these are just jobs, and they're not important. We're all just doing the things we're doing so that we can live somewhere and eat and stuff. So I'm like, we shouldn't take things too seriously, but I also don't want to dehumanize each other. So I hate email faffery. Hope this finds you well. I'm like, shut up. What do you want? When I was on the phone in those offices, I used to be like, I found myself saying, what's your question? Because it was like, if you say,
get to it. Because
if you say, how can I help you today? They might go into, well, I'm calling on behalf of my son, and he is like, so you just have to give them a little. I'm like, what do you want? Like, that's what you want to say. What the fuck do you want? What the fuck do you want?
Just get. What's weird is
I think that was as succinct as I could find a way. I was like, what is your question? And also, young people didn't grow up on the phone. They don't know how to speak on the phone. So you say, hello, office here, and then they might say nothing. And you're like, you might be like, yes, can I help you? Is there any, you're like, hello? And they're like, hello. And they don't know that they're then supposed to then start the query. They have a query.
This is your portion to speak now.
And they don't know, they don't know that if you're ringing up, like if you're doing something like that, ringing about your application somewhere, a grown-up has a pen and paper, and these young people don't. So you're like, okay, so I'll give you the email, you can email it. And they're like, okay, and I'm like, do you have a pen? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, do you have a pen and paper there? And they're like, hold on 1 second. And like, I knew it. You start to know. So, but I enjoyed that part. And then I started doing, I was like, give me your email, I'll email you. I started doing that because that was the easiest way to do it. I liked the chaos of the young people, I have to say. I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed them fucking up. I enjoyed them making mistakes. And I enjoyed, because I remember being that person. So I was like, I enjoyed helping them when they're making that mistakes, or keeping things secret from their parents. It's like, I was supposed to do, and you're like, okay, look at the work.
They'll bring you, it's like panic in their voice.
Boys are so funny. The boys would ring up. There was somebody they wouldn't have put down things on their CAO, and they just told their parents they did, and they're like, so I enjoyed that. Like, or like someone, my brother's friend didn't bring his parents to his graduation. And they were like, when's yours? And he has a twin sister, and hers was done. They're like, when's yours? And he's like, I already had it. He didn't invite them.
Holy shit.
So bold. Like, why? Let them have it. They paid for it. Like,
they've been paying 18 years for it. 22 years. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I love that though.
The only thing about you were saying like the email faff. The only thing is though, I actually agree with you, but the amount of times I email someone like, hey, I'm emailing for this reason. And I've had a bit of blowback when people are like, not even a hello, and I'm like, so I'm like, all right, hey, how are you? Hope you're well.
That annoys me. I just like.
I would be more. I'm happy. Like I have a friend who sometimes I message him for something. Like I'd be like, hey dude, hey, and I get straight to the reason.
Yes.
That I'm messaging you, and he's like, no, how are you? I'm like,
I don't do that in text and stuff. I just send. I texted Aidan Green tonight. I asked him could he do this gig, and I just said, I didn't go, hey pal, how's things? I just said, are you free this evening?
Yeah.
I think this is quicker. Just get it done.
I think in comedy,
I think I'm getting worse though. I think I'm becoming. I think people might think I am a prick. I'm now leave out like prepositions and all. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm starting to write. Yeah, I'm starting to write like the military or something. I'm sick of the phone. I'm sick of being in constant comms. I'm sick of touching that little piece of glass. I'm sick of the whole fucking thing.
Mine's always on. It's always on silence, and like so I always miss a bunch of messages and calls, but it suits me better.
Yeah.
I was getting constantly stressed. Fuck. 3 years making a living pure from comedy. That's class.
Well, it's comedy. I mean, it's comedy, and then there's podcasts, and then there's voiceover. So it's not like all just going out gigging, hitting the clubs and making the money. So it's a few different bits.
Yeah.
Do you need food or like that? Do you want to go to Portlaoise Plaza?
I'm over to your if you want, let's do it.
I feel like I want to go to Portlaoise Plaza.
Let's get here. I'm at the mercy of whatever. I'm like, whatever you want to do, I'll do.
Okay.
If you're eating, put it this way, I will totally eat.
I'm not going to eat. I'll tell you what I'll do. This will come up again. I had food earlier. I have been drinking Huel.
Fucking like Roger O'Sullivan.
Yeah, but Roger
I was
O'Sullivan,
doing it beforehand.
No, Roger O'Sullivan remains famous for his consumption of Huel during the Edinburgh Fringe. I also was doing it, and we were in communication re-same during that period, and he just talked about it more, whereas I am more ashamed of it because it's very off-brand for me. I'm like, why would I? But it's very useful if you're a bit nervous before a gig and you're you should eat so you have energy, and then if you're a bit nervous before a gig and you're hungry but you don't really it's the idea of eating is off-putting. And if you drink the Huel, it gives you it's not a real meal. They're like, it's nutritionally a meal, but you couldn't live on it. Yeah. You couldn't have a Huel and then go out on a rake of pints. You'd be drunk, or you'd be sick. So I was like, it's not real. But it does give you that feeling of like, I've eaten, I'm full, I'm satiated. It does give you that, and that I found that a miracle over the last 9 months. I've really enjoyed it.
Let's pull over the Portlaoise Plaza. Let's do it.
I feel like Portlaoise Plaza is up here. Is it not?
I remember when I think Best Man is the one time where I've had to gig so often, but I remember before I go on stage I'd eat fruit about 2 hours before I go on stage, and then just before I go on, banana and a Snickers. Banana for the long-term energy, and the Snickers for that initial sort
I can't eat bananas.
Why not?
It comes up in the show. Hate them. Just hate them. And I'm jealous of all of you having bananas because I know that it's a great thing and everyone swears by a banana.
Everyone swears by a banana.
Everyone loves bananas. They're also so handy. Grab a quick banana and you'll be grand. People have banana on the morning of their wedding. This kind of shit. I'm like, I don't have that luxury.
I can't eat apples.
I can eat apples.
You can eat apples?
Yeah.
You have that I don't know when this happened. I could used to eat apples before, but now if I eat an apple, my throat gets swollen, and I begin to my throat starts closing up.
Did you look up that? That's a thing, I think.
This is not. Oh, I think it's the pollen on the apple.
I did not look that up. I feel like I saw a video about this before.
It's like I know.
I feel like
Did you throw on hot air?
Because see.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I'm like, my feet are warming up.
Yeah, because nice. I don't know. Does all cars do that? If I turn on that AC or heater or whatever, I don't think it's a real AC. So today I had it on cold, and then I turn it off, but a little trickle of cold comes out.
Yeah.
So then I turned it on there, I'll lash it up a little bit more, and then I'll turn it back off. So it should be warming.
I'm trying to look up what the thing about the apples.
Feel like there's something. You're allergic to something or something.
I am allergic to. I get antihistamines. I get hay fever.
Yeah.
So tree pollen. Yeah, pollen. The pollen is on the apple, and yeah, essentially that's what it is.
I don't know what this thing in that is. That plumes.
The what?
I don't know what this plume is.
Yeah, me neither. Always right past that.
Yeah, I often wonder. This is the third time I've been past it in the last 24 hours.
Down to Limerick, back to Limerick.
Yeah.
I was in Limerick for a workshop 2 weeks ago, and I stayed at what is it? The Radisson, I think it is. It was the cheapest hotel in Limerick. The Radisson out towards Shannon. That is the Radisson, isn't it? No, it's not the Radisson.
The hotels are out of control.
But it was like a fancy hotel, but it was the cheapest one. And I was like, this doesn't feel like it makes any sense.
In the city?
No, it's like outside the city. If you're heading for Shannon, God, what the fuck is the name?
Don't be going out there.
What's the name of the fucking hotel? I know. Where were you gigging in Limerick? Was it like UL?
No, Dolan's.
Dolan's, yes.
Fabulous. I like a music venue. They often have the stage is a bit high, but I like that I'm cutting back on the. I swapped out some theatres this year. I did it in Cork and in Galway.
You went to Collins instead or something?
No, I went to Cypress Avenue in Cork, having previously done the Everyman. And I don't, I just think that's much more my vibe. Sometimes the theatre is unavoidable, but I think in Galway, I was in the Town Hall Theatre in Galway, and I swapped it to Monroe's in Galway, and I'd never even been in there, and I just loved it. It was people of different levels, lots of things, much more relaxed. I think comedy is ultimately about having a laugh, and you have a better laugh when you're relaxed.
But in terms of capacity-wise, you're taking a hit there a little bit with how much audience you can get in.
Potentially, but yes, definitely in Cork. But I just think it's a better show for those who are there. And I don't know.
You'd almost rather do 2 gigs in Cypress Avenue than doing 1 gig.
Well, I didn't. But I would prefer that, because I just think, I know we have to go up here, but then also isn't Portlaoise Plaza up here?
Oh.
I know, we're actually quite early. I feel like it's behind that.
Do you want me to pop it into the maps, or
Yeah, go on, yeah.
Junction 14 is the one I usually... Is that the same as Portlaoise Plaza?
Portlaoise Plaza's just there, over there. We haven't had a sign for it, though.
Portlaoise Plaza.
We're beside that now. We should have actually maybe gone off there as well. Oh, shit!
Oh, yeah, I think it was that one.
Yeah, but it happens to also be the one on the... Okay. Mistakes were made. I'll just get off here. Isn't that what you do? You just get off?
Get off the next one, turn back around. And so you're living over by, or of course maybe I shouldn't say that.
I live in Harold's Cross.
Yeah, Cross. It's a nice area. There's so many artists around that area. Actually, I didn't realise there were so many improvisers, comedians.
Harold's Cross used to be a place that everybody lived. People who are 20 years older than us, they all, I had a flat in Harold's Cross. Remember when I was a student? They all had that kind of thing, and it's changed. There's thousands more people living in Harold's Cross over the last couple of years. I'm a Harold's Cross local original, and I live there again.
You're from Harold's Cross?
Yes, there's so few of my people my age who are Harold's Cross natives.
Where'd you go to school?
Temple Oak, up near you.
You went to school in Temple Oak College?
Yes.
The all boys school?
Yes.
No way. I did some substitute teaching in there.
Did you?
You know a bit of gossip about that school.
They had a whole load of drama.
Yeah.
Because somebody was a religious zealot or something.
Is that the reason? I didn't know the reason why.
I don't know. I believe there was a direction of someone took the school a direction that was very staunch. And staunchly Catholic or something.
And the teachers protested.
Something like that. There was a split. Yeah, they were in the paper for ages.
Yeah, because I substitute taught in there before that, but then subsequently I just see who would be looking out for that bar? People who have some association with it, but you just see like it's going into, you know, what's that called when there's a mediator brought in and all these things. I can't remember what it's called. And I was like, holy fuck! I was like, I wish I was back in that school just to like watch.
I think there was like allegations of bullying. I don't know anything about the school now. I'm sure it's probably modernised and things, but I hated it and couldn't wait to get out. And so all my brothers hated it. We all hated that. I'm not even following.
I'll be honest, as a teacher, or like as a substitute teacher, I found it quite intimidating in that school.
Oh.
Thought, yeah, I don't know, but I find.
Is that because you're a culty?
Culty? Maybe, but I find like, so I do workshops in schools. I find all boys schools are usually just a tad, not a tad. Sometimes, do you know what? It depends on the school, but in general, all boys schools have a little bit more
an edge
to them.
It should be banned. What the fuck is that?
Like, yeah, it's weird. Like mixed schools is nice. Everyone keeps each other balanced out, and
just think about it. I mean, what a lovely old thing. What is that?
I have no idea.
Like, why? How does that still exist? It's embarrassing.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. It can be just a little. Yeah. I wouldn't send if I have kids, I wouldn't send them to an all boys school. I would send girls to an all girls school.
Yeah, people say that.
Even though I've heard like.
Are those things true? People say, girls do better if they go to or boys do better if they go to a mixed school, and girls do better if they go to a single sex school.
Stay by themselves.
It's all super.
Girls are good for everyone, boys are good for no one.
Yeah.
That's essentially.
I don't even know what I want in Portlaoise Plaza.
Yeah. I know, I feel like when you go to an all boys school, sometimes it's going to be like your whole day is just like almost crowd control.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll do some comedy. And
comedy?
So I do sketch comedy to film, that's what I... So.
And how do they respond?
To be honest, they actually all respond phenomenally well.
Do they?
I shouldn't, there's some all boys schools have me in, and they're all lovely. Everyone is lovely. And
it's transition year?
It's transition years, yeah. So I teach them sketch. I'm in for a day. Teach them. It's more. I'm about to throw all sketch comedy and all filmmaking at you in the space of about an hour and a half.
Right.
And then you're about to go out and film your own sketches at them. So we take 25. If there's 25 students in a class, you break them up into 5 groups of 5. We cover sketch comedy structure. We cover filmmaking. Holy shit!
What's happening?
That purple car pulled out in front of the Peugeot, and
I am no longer paying attention to what's going on.
Yeah, no worries.
I don't know where we are.
Well, do you want me to put it in?
I just was like, wait a minute.
I think we're in Portlaoise now.
Are we in Portlaoise now? Okay.
So if you want to go to the plaza, keep going straight on until we hit keep going straight on. If you want to visit the plaza, do you want to visit the plaza?
Yeah. No. You know what? Let's just go back to. We're just quite early for Colman. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm also putting off parking. I have to do that. I've been around so many places. Are the places now you come in again and again that you're like, you start to know little nooks and crannies of the country.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hate parking here.
Portlaoise is one of them?
Yeah. There's like a angular parking space that I don't enjoy those. Now I'm coming from the other side, so I'm confused. Portlaoise is far enough away from Dublin that it's its own world. Sometimes the places can be just absorbed into Dublin.
Yeah.
But Portlaoise still
still maintains its personality.
Yes, it's an independent place.
All about the prisons.
They don't. I've tried to do.
They don't like
tailored Portlaoise stuff, prison, doing a maze, all this shit. They never cared for it, so I don't bother.
Yeah. I have a friend from Portlaoise. Yeah.
A disaster coming here. Was that last year? Must have been the first year. Oh yeah, it was the first year. I injured my back on the day I was to come down here, and I was like, the doctor was like, yeah, you should not do your shows. And I was like, well, I have to do the shows.
Yeah, Jesus, yeah.
And then, and cancelling on the day would be awful. So then I got my father to drop me to Houston, and I got the train because it's too dangerous to drive in case you had a little twinge or whatever in your back. And I didn't have much movability. So I got the train down and went up to Kavanagh's, and then afterwards my father was to collect me direct all the way from Portlaoise. He didn't mind. He said he was happy to do it. And then I came off the stage. Show was difficult because of my back. Finished the show, and then my mother had texted me saying their car had broken down, and they were in Dublin basically. They were nowhere, and then I had to look up how to get out of Portlaoise to get home, and they had to get that green bus. And the green bus wasn't going till 1 a.m. or something.
Holy shit!
So I was like, this is like one nightmare after another. The man from Kavanagh's, PJ, drove me home to my house.
No fucking way.
Like,
legend.
He said he'll drop me to Red Cow. I was like, yeah, that's grand. I'll get a free taxi or something, whatever. I was like, anywhere close enough, and I'll get a taxi. And then I was like, you have to pass in there. He's like, it's grand. And he was inquiring as to where I lived. Are these apple trees? I think they're apple trees. But he dropped me all the way home, and I think you learn, I don't know, there's an old-fashionedness to touring that's like, sometimes some venues give you the dinner.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like Dickie Rock. I feel like I'm like out there doing my songs for room and board. It just feels great.
Yeah.
And there's just kind of like,
come down here, we'll take care of you.
Yeah, but I don't know, I just enjoy the rhythm. I have these colleagues in these venues around the country, then you come back to them again, you're like, well, how are things and all the rest.
So how often are you seeing it? You're seeing them like once a year?
Once a year. You might see them at something else, you might be there with somebody else or whatever, but it's kind of, there's something nice about it, meeting the tech are often men, the technicians. Well, there's no technician here, it's just BJ himself. And they also like gossip. So if you tell them, oh, you want to see the state of what they were up to in some other venue in such a place, they love that kind of shit. It's a fun thing.
So the venue's up here on the left.
Yeah, so I drive past it, try and park. There's some lovely building fronts around here. I like this one, Home Bakery. Finton Phelan's Home Bakery. I think the Mixer is a club vibe.
I always like, always tell a lot about like how modernized the town is by how many buildings are named after families versus just have names.
Yeah.
You know, like they have a Coppers here.
Oh yeah.
Coppers nightclub. Like I was out in Clifton doing workshops, and pretty much, I would say a good 80% of the town, the buildings are Murphy's, Kavanagh's. You're like, okay, cool, you still own this place, you know? I don't think I've actually ever driven through Portlaoise town.
It's one of these small ones. Sometimes it's almost Wexfordy.
I wonder, how do they, like, I think, are they kind of annoyed that the prisons are here a little bit, that from the outside perspective we associate them with the prison, or at least I do anyway. Like, or they, like, I mean, the prisons have to go somewhere.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, they're not like in.
They're not in the prison.
People aren't in that, yeah.
And you're all prisoners.
Yeah, I think actually the people from Portlaoise don't think about the prisons.
Yeah.
They're like Don Draper. I don't think about you at all. Sally Gardens.
So this is here on the left.
Yeah, and then.
Oh, yeah, we're actually good. Where are we going?
I'm hoping I can park in one of these. Oh, is that a space? What is that? Can I fit in that? Oh God. Am I going to now parallel park on a camera? Done. Just predicting that I'm gonna. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to bail on this because there's a man in a van and I can't cope with the pressure of a man in a van. Is this even a car parking space?
I think it is a space, I know, to be fair.
Go, van, go. Leave me alone. This is a lot of pressure for a gay man.
You're doing pretty well.
Yeah, actually, we're not too bad. We're not too bad.
You ever watch Austin Powers?
Sometimes I feel like that. Honestly, I find it so stressful. I just hate. It's always like the last bit. I'm nearly there, and then you have to have this little battle.
It's always when there's another car waiting on you. You're just like, oh Jesus, the pressure.
What have I done there now? Okay, that's us parked.
Okay, nice. Thank you very much.
And
so what's...
I've never been closer to cabinets before.
I'll take this.
Oh yes.
So what's the plan? Are you happy to keep going, or do you want to stop filming for a bit, or?
Yeah, because I don't want to smoke on it. I know you want to keep it very realistic, but I try and not.
No worries. Will you stop recording for a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.